Guys, it's Tina and I am back, and I am here with another get ready with me makeup tutorial, but this one is a chit chat get ready with me. So I'm going to talk you through all the steps for this really fun summertime look. It's lightweight, it's just summer friendly because I use minimal product, even though I technically use minimal product for the most part in most of my looks anyway. But it's using minimal, lightweight products and just doing a very fun eye look that can go with a variety of lip colors. Now, I paired it with a bold orange lip. This would go well with like a peachy nude or like a more peach coral lip. It will definitely go well with like warm tone lip colors. So if you want to see this look, then stay tuned and I'll talk to you soon. Alright guys, so I am starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. I have nothing on, and I'm going to go in with some moisturizer. I'm going to try this new one out from Dermalogica. They sent this to me, and this is the Active Moist Moisturizer. It says it's an oil-free, lightweight moisturizer to hydrate combination skin. So I have oily skin, and it's kind of mostly oily combination, I would think. It isn't like completely oily all over, and sometimes I do get some dry spots. So I'm gonna just grab a little bit of this. It says it's oil free and lightweight, and its sheer, easy to apply formula contains silk amino acids with a unique combination of plant extracts to help to improve skin's texture and combat surface dehydration. I like that it says surface dehydration because I don't think my skin is necessarily dehydrated like all through and through, but I think I do have some surface dehydration around my jaw area. It feels a little bit thicker than I would normally use. Like, I prefer a water gel formula. I don't really like a greasy moisturizer. This feels a little bit more hydrating than I need, but we're gonna let that sink in, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows. And in case you guys haven't noticed, I have grown my brows out a little bit. I've tried to make them a little bit thicker, and my brows are naturally extremely thick. Like, I have to tweeze a lot. And I even shave a little bit, like around the top parts of my brow, towards my hairline. Like, my brows will try to grow and match my hairline. Like, it will go all the way up. So I have to really maintain my brows, but I tried to make them a little bit thicker. It didn't take too long to grow out, only like a couple of weeks. It wasn't like any arduous process. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill them in. Actually, I wanted to try my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow with my Smith Cosmetics 203 brush. It's a really tiny angled brush, and I want to see if I can do light strokes through them and fill them in. Like, I don't normally do this kind of technique. I normally just outline them with a brow pencil and then fade them out with a brush, but let's see how this works. So the shade is Ebony. Should I zoom you guys in? The brush is that tiny angled brush. Do you see how small that is? I am just gonna do very small strokes. I'm not good at this because I don't want to do like a straight line. I kind of want to lay my brush a little bit flat to create an outline. So yeah, I'm not doing well with this, but I'm just gonna use the dip brow and see what we can accomplish. I'm using the shade Ebony because the thicker my brows are, it's almost like the darker my brow products need to be because my brows are very dark. That doesn't look too bad, right? Alright. I mean, it looks like I use brow pencil, but we're gonna go ahead and keep doing this. So while I fill in my brows, let's go ahead and just catch up for a little bit. How are you guys doing? I haven't done like a really chatty video in a while. I've been so busy, I've been on the go, so most of my videos are just straight to the point. Like, I get down to business if I'm doing a haul or if I'm doing swatches. Like, I get to it. I don't really get too talkative. But yeah, school is done for the summer. I'm not taking summer classes. I'm taking the summer off because I need a break. And then I have 2 more classes to go, and I'm finished in the fall, so I will be graduating. Technically, I'm graduating this year, like December 2017, but I won't actually walk in the ceremony until next May. But yeah, I'll be done with, well, done with this degree. And I did my master's, well, I'm doing my master's in electrical and computer engineering. And then I want to go ahead and start my MBA next spring. So we'll see how that goes. How have you guys been doing? Are you excited for this? Oh my god, I really like that. Oh my god, it looks nice. I actually really like how that looks. Do you guys like it? Like, it didn't even take me that long. I just went ahead and outlined and filled in the brows, and this little brush actually works really nicely. I'm just gonna grab my brow pencil anyway from Urban Decay and do a little bit more definition right under the arch, because I find a pencil gets right under there and really sharpens up the shape. Uh-oh, I got too far down. We'll clean that up, but I'm using the pencil just to really outline like the tail end and under my arch. We'll clean that up with concealer in a bit. But I really like how that pomade applied, right? And it's good to use these long-lasting products in your brows for the summertime, because these are budge-proof kind of products, and especially in the summer when you get all sweaty and stuff, you don't want to wear anything that's going to slip around. That's why I applied a primer. I didn't mention that, but I applied a primer to my brows. So I like how that looks. I'm going to go in with some primer for my eyeshadow. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. It's a very hydrating primer, so it feels nice and soothing on the eyelids, but it is budge-proof, smudge-proof too, and it keeps your eyeshadows in place and prevents creasing. Then I'm going to grab my Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. This is a waterproof concealer, and it dries pretty quickly, so you want to work fast. I'm using shade, I believe this is shade number 12. I work very quickly with this, and you just blend it out over your eyelids or under your eyes, and it stays in place. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills number 18 concealer brush just to go under my brows and clean that up. And then I'm going to pull some of this also down onto my eyelids. And this is going to work as our eyeshadow primer and our eyeshadow base. So I'll just blend that all over my lids and create that sharp outline with this concealer brush. And then I'll go over that with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush just to blend out the excess and remove any of the extra moisture from the concealer and really set that guy in place. And then once we have both eyes in place, I'm gonna go over it with a damp beauty sponge just to make sure everything is set in place, and then go over that with a little bit of translucent powder. This is the La Prairie Cellular Treatment Powder in translucent too. And I'm using the L'Oreal face sponge, just going over the concealer just to set it in place. This kind of locks everything in place. It's not going to budge or crease during the day once we set all of that. You know what I mean? Between the primer, the waterproof concealer, and this translucent powder, we're kind of bulletproof right now on the eyes. Now once we have that in place, I'm going to do a really simple eyeshadow look. I'm using these 5 neutral shadows. These are from Cozzette, and they're very basic colors. So I have an ivory shade, like a peachy ivory, medium tone caramelly nude, a deeper caramelly nude, and then a really deep chocolatey nude or brown. And then I have a little bit of a shimmer crystal shade here. It's kind of a topper eyeshadow, so it's sheer in finish, and it gives just a little bit of shimmer to the lids. And I'm going for a very light look, so I'm not gonna really layer up too much color. I just wanna give a little bit of shade into my eyelids. So I'm gonna start out with the medium tone nude just on my Eddie Funkhouser large crease brush. I got very little bit on the brush, and I'm just gonna go back and forth where my crease area is, and I'm doing it right on my brow bone. So this eye actually folds over a little bit. It's a little bit hooded. This eye is a little bit more open. What I do is I apply my shadow right where the bone of my brow is. So it's my actual brow bone. So I'm not applying the shadow where my crease, like where my eyes crease. You see that? I'm actually opening my eyes and then just going back and forth right along the actual brow bone. So I'm kind of sinking my brush into that bone where the socket is and just going around very lightly just to give a very light shadowing in that area. I'm not going heavy, like I said. I don't want a heavy eyeshadow look because this is a summer look. It's supposed to be lightweight and summer friendly. It's not supposed to be too heavy, so I'm not trying to layer on too much eyeshadow. So you see we have a little bit of warmth right there, and I'm keeping it in the crease, doing like the semicircular windshield wiper motions just to create that shape, almost like a semi-cut crease. Then I'm gonna go in with the middle shade, so the medium brown, just a little bit again, and I'm gonna angle my brush where the shadow is. I'm gonna angle it upwards. So the shadow is on this side. I didn't get any on that side. Angle it upwards. Again, find that crease area or that brow bone, and then I'm gonna, again, go back and forth. But I'm keeping this now more towards the middle of the lid, not really bringing it too far outwards. And then carefully fading it to the edges. So keep the most color in the center, so that's where I'll apply the color first. Clean off my brush, and then I'll just lightly blend out the edges so it fades into the rest of the crease. Like on the outer crease, it'll do a gradient from really deep to lighter at the edges. And I'll slowly build the color up. I don't want an intense color at all, so I'm lightly applying the color and going back and building it up as I go. I'm not going too intense all at once because that's gonna give us just way too much color, and it's hard to take it back once you apply it. So I'm doing a very fresh faced look. Now I'm going to grab the deeper shade, but I'm going in with a smaller brush. This is an Anastasia Beverly Hills A25 brush. It's one of her small blending brushes. Grabbing a little bit of the deep shade, that deep brown, again on the top of the bristles on one side. And now I'm going to very lightly do the same thing, but I'm concentrating it a little bit lower in the crease. So we're doing almost like a semi baby cut crease. Not really keeping a cut, just creating a little bit of depth in that socket line. So it creates the illusion of a cut crease, and it creates the illusion of a sunken crease. You see how my crease will look a little bit more sunken than it is? And then on this side with the more hooded eye, I'm creating a different, so you see now it looks like it's almost like a regular eye shape. It doesn't look as hooded because I created that dimension with the darker eyeshadow. Now once we have that down, so see I did the concentrated color right there, I'm going to go back in with the Eddie Funkhouser brush. I cleaned off any product that I have on my washcloth. I have such a messy wash towel, guys. I get color everywhere, and I keep a couple of these handy in my makeup room. Now I mixed the two darker shades together. So these two shades, just a little bit, because I want to tie everything together now that we have the dimension that we wanted. So I'm now going to buff, just lightly touch the brush on the outer and inner lid area. See? Just creating a little bit more shading now that we have the shape that we wanted. And I'll just do circular motions, back and forth motions, just to blend that out and pull it upwards. Now these Cozzette eyeshadows, oh my god, they blend so beautifully. It's superb. They don't really get powdery either. Like I'm picking up color and it's not dusting all over the place. They're a little bit of a tighter eyeshadow, so they bind together. It doesn't just kick up loose powder everywhere, right? So that's a really good thing for me. So now we're done with the crease work, and I'm gonna do a little bit of highlight, and I'm gonna go in with that peachy ivory shade now, just on a MAC 252. Pop that right under the brow. And I like doing a light peach color under my brow, and I like it to be matte or semi-matte. I really like Makeup Geek's Mirage eyeshadow because it's almost like a semi-matte shade, with a little bit of sheen to it, so it gives a shine. But for this, I want to keep everything else on the eye matte apart from the shimmer shade the topper shade we're gonna apply. So I'm just blending that down onto the brow very lightly, just blending it. So it gives, again, some dimension, so it looks like my brow is lifted, even though, you know, it's not. It's not. Blend it out nicely. That's a little bit intense. Should I add? I need to add a little bit more on this side to make them even Stevens. So blend that out. So, oh, I forgot I was mentioning school. So I'm almost done with school, and I got 2 A's, guys. I did 2 classes this semester and I got A's. I was on the edge with one of the classes because I did great on the midterm, so I knew like my midterm was good. I was like, hey, like I think I got a 96 on the midterm, so I was like, okay, we're set there. So we're going to the final now. And child, there was a 40-point question in the final, and I BS'd my way through that question, and I was like, you know what? This is not looking so promising, because if that's a 40-point question, I was not at all confident in like my response. I knew I had an idea, but I wasn't too confident, so I just BS'd. So I'm taking the shimmery shade, the crystal shade, which is Bliss. Oh, I should have told you the name of the eyeshadows. Let's run through them quickly. The ivory shade is Honor, right? The second, like the medium brown is Wander. The other, like the medium deep brown now, is Empower. And then the chocolatey brown is Burnish. So those are the shades. And then the shimmer shade is Bliss. The shimmer shade is like a toned down bronze. And I'm going to grab that on a Rite Aid synthetic eyeshadow brush. This is the Renewal brush. And I'm very lightly now going to apply this just on the center of the lid. I'm kind of tapping it on, not really like dusting it on, but like pressing it on that center of the lip. Oh my god. It's so beautiful. I cannot. Oh my god. It's like applying glitter without the mess or without the trouble and the stress. It's like pressed glitter. It's a topper shade. It's really beautiful. So the midterm now, the final now, so but then and I'm like, oh no, this is not cool. And I just did what I could, and then I literally walked out. I still had time that I could use if I wanted to stay and try to figure it out. But I was like, there is no way you're gonna figure anything out at this point. It's just not gonna happen, sweetie. There's nothing more I can do. Do you know when you're just like, I don't care how long I have, I could have 5 more hours. There's no more I could do. So I just finished what I did and left. And I was panicking about that because I'm like, all right, the midterm was good, but the final is half of the grade. So what am I gonna do? And I ended up getting an A, and I was so happy with that. The other class, I was kind of confident I was getting an A because I knew, I understood that class a lot more. I was very happy with that class. So good times. So that's the eye look pretty much. Like, we're pretty much done with the eyes, but let's go ahead and do some work on the face. So Dermalogica sent me a couple of products to try out, and this is another one of them. This is the Hydra Blur Primer. So this is, it says it blurs fine lines, pores, hydrate, and brighten for naturally flawless skin. It's lightweight, non-greasy. Okay. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that. I don't want to apply too much because I don't know how this feels. Because if it says hydrate, I don't want to apply any more hydration. My skin feels light. It doesn't feel tacky or greasy after that that moisturizer. So I guess I'm okay with it as long as I let it sink in. So I'm just going to apply this, especially my smile lines, and then a little bit in my forehead. I'm not applying any more of this. This feels, it feels like a powdery silicone, like a moussey silicone, because it's slipping over my skin. So it feels dimethicone rich. Let's see, does it have dimethicone in it? look at the ingredients really quick. Glycerin dimethicone, yes, it has tons of dimethicone in it, so that's why it's going to slip like that. So just pressing it into my skin. And I always wear a primer in the summertime because oily skin. And I'm just testing this primer out, but I have my tried and true ones that I will use because I don't always trust other primers in the summertime. I actually stick to the ones I know. Now, skin is a big thing. I don't apply tons of foundation. I go very light on foundation when it comes to the summertime. I don't want layers of product on my skin because it gets uncomfortable. It almost feels like I want to rip my skin off when it's too heavy. So I'm going to use a BB cream. I'm using the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. I'm using the shade 550 Medium Deep and 560 Deep. I end up mixing the two shades because they don't have a perfect match for me, but they're $5.99 a pop. So it's not like they're super expensive that if I get two shades, it's a problem. So I mixed the two shades, and I'm just going to grab the same foundation sponge we were using before, get it on my sponge, and then just apply just that amount on my skin, and then go over my skin with the sponge. Honestly, I prefer to use a brush with this. Why am I using a sponge? I should never have used a sponge. So just buff over my skin. I'm using my Marc Jacobs the Face 3 brush. This is my typical brush. Now I try to stay away from my nose until the very end. So I just go under my eyes, around my skin, and I don't need to perfect my skin. Like, I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to even out and look kind of semi put together. Like, not too flawless. I don't need it to be, oh, my porcelain skin. I don't even like porcelain skin to begin with. It's funny because somebody mentioned in one of my videos that I should color correct the darkness around my mouth. And yeah, I could, but I don't need to because I don't feel the need to. There are no rules in makeup that say you have to look perfect. You know, it doesn't have to be a perfect, flawless, poreless, blemish-free, spot-free coverage, you know? Your skin doesn't have to look like it's been airbrushed or anything. You can actually just apply enough to where you are happy with the coverage. And that's what I do. Honestly, I apply enough to where I am happy with the result. I don't need to be free of darkness. I just try to even out my skin tone because under my eyes gets light. The rest of my skin can be a little bit medium, and then around my mouth gets dark. So I apply enough to even out everything, and everything comes together. I don't need it to look like I'm photoshopped. I'm okay. And then I apply a little bit. I make sure to get in my hairline so it blends in because my hairline again gets very dark, and it can look like I am not wearing the right foundation because right here gets the most sun. And it gets the least sun protection. I should probably work on that. But it gets the least sun protection, so it gets a little bit darker in that area. And I need to make sure that everything is copacetic, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and set everything in place. I'm actually going to use my Marc Jacobs Perfection Powder Foundation. This is the shade Fawn Cocoa, number 500. Haven't used this in a while. I kind of forgot that I had it. And I use this powder a little bit more in the summer because I caught a little bit of color, so I'm a little bit deeper, and this goes well with my summer color. I don't get too super tan or too super dark, but I do get a little bit darker, so I applied that to my skin just to set everything in place. Now let's go ahead and finish up the eyes. I'm going to do mascara, so I'm going to apply a little bit of mascara primer. This is the L'Oreal mascara primer, which I absolutely love. And then I'm going in with my mascara. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I did grab the new L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara, which is supposed to be a dupe, you know, with the pink packaging and stuff. It's supposed to be a really good mascara. I do like it. It does do really well for a drugstore mascara, but it doesn't blow me away like my Too Faced Better Than Sex. Like, my lashes get full and voluminous from Too Faced, and I don't have to like build it up on repeat for it to really pop on my lashes. I get volume, I get length, I get darkness and richness. So I still prefer the Too Faced better than Sex, but I do think the L'Oreal one is a great mascara. It's not a dupe. It's not one that I would say replaces my Too Faced. It's a good alternative that I can use like on a daily basis just to go to work, because I don't need my lashes to look like this when I'm going to work, right? You see how big my lashes get from the Too Faced? And with that primer, it really helps to build a mascara. And I don't think I'm gonna use lashes for this look, because look at this. Now, instead of using like a shimmery highlighter on my inner tear duct, I'm gonna go back into the Peachy Ivory shade, and I'm grabbing a domed shadow brush. This is my Sonia Kashuk large crease brush, and I'm just gonna apply that, bam, to the inner tear duct to brighten up that space, because I can get really dark in that area, and we don't want that. I just want to brighten it up and liven it up a bit. So that color looks a little bit stark, so I'm just going to blend a little bit of the light brown on it. Well, that's like a medium brown really. But just blend a little bit over it so it tames it a little bit. So it blends in a little bit more with my skin and doesn't look as stark. I mean, I want it bright, but I don't need it to be that bright. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to apply lashes, and I'm not going to apply liner because I don't think I need it, right? Now let's go ahead and do a little bit of contouring or bronzing. I'm not really going to contour too much. I'm going to grab my Becca Multitasking Perfecting Powder. This is in the shade Dark Golden. It's like a golden chocolatey brown. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that on this teardrop brush. This is from Cozzette. It's the S120. He actually gifted me this at the makeup show because I bought so many of the eyeshadows. And I'm just going to apply, I'm kind of laying the brush flat and then applying it to the hollows of my cheeks, but also like coming upwards so I get a little bit of the bronze color. This brush is really soft, and if you're looking for vegan, cruelty-free brushes, he makes a great line of brushes. Oh, I'm applying a little bit to my temples because that's where I would naturally darken up and like get a tan. So I'm applying a little bit to my hairline and my temples, you see? And then I'll also grab a little bit and put it on my jawline. Not to contour it, but just to add a little bit of shading that ties in with the rest of the shading on my skin. So the color looks the same. You know what I mean? Tie it in. But the brush, the face brushes are divine. They're synthetic brushes. They're vegan bristles. And they're really soft. They're really well made. I've never had any problems with shedding or breaking of the bristles. And they're just really good synthetic brushes. The eye brushes I am not the biggest fan of because the shapes of them are not what I typically go for in an eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna apply a little bit of blush. This is the Sephora Too Hot blush. This is number 7. It's one of their matte blushes. Just on a Sonia Kashuk brush. This is from the Stripe set. Did I tell you how I went ahead and got 2 more of these while they were on sale? They had them on sale. They may even still have them now. I think they were like $14.99 for the sale. Or maybe $19.99, but it was really, really good. It was like a really nice sale. And I was like, oh God, I love those brushes. So let me go ahead and grab them for that bargain because there are 4 brushes in there, 4 large face brushes. So for you to get 4 face brushes for $14.99 or $19.99, whichever the price was, it's still a good deal. So I like to use an orangey Carly blush on my cheeks for the summertime. Not only because it looks good on tan skin, but because it just, I like a more warm tone, like peachy color in the summertime. Not like a pink or a bright fuchsia, but like more of a warm tone melon or an orange or a cantaloupe or a peach. Yes, so let's go ahead and do a little work on the lower lash line. I'm just going to go in with my mascara, which is my Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara from MAC, and just put a little bit of that on my lower lashes. I will go ahead and just apply a little bit of shading on the outer lower lash line. So I'm going to grab the very deep shade and just do a little bit of shading. Just a little touch with my MAC 242 brush and get right against the lower lashes. And that will just add a little bit of depth and dimension and kind of tie everything together, but without going too overboard or too crazy. So that's as much as I'm gonna do. I need to even it out. And just go under there with a little blending. Blendy blend. And that's it. I'm not doing anything else to the eyes. The eyes are done. The face is pretty much done. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy on the face. Although I do want to apply a little bit of highlighters. I'm going to grab this Dose of Colors highlighter. It's their Supreme Glow highlighter in the shade Melonade, which is a shimmery, peachy, like a peach color with a gold reflect. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of that right on the high point of my cheek. Actually, I'm popping it like almost on the apple. Not too far up, and I'm concentrating it in like a circular spot. Then I'll blend it out just using circular buffing motions. This is a Wayne Goss number 2 brush, just to give a very faint, very subtle highlight on my skin. So I turned on the light a little bit so you can see that glow and sheen on my skin. So you see it's just a spotlight glow. It's not too intense or overwhelming, which I don't like, because if you're out in the sun in the summertime, it can really pick up and look too intense and very fake. So just a little bit of shimmer on the cheeks. Now for my lips, I forgot that I was gonna do a really bright pink lip, and I hope it doesn't really clash with the blush that's kind of peachy orange. But I'm using this new liquid lipstick. It's from xoBeauty, so it's from Shan XO here on YouTube. She released the line, and she had this color. It's called INEFFABLE. And it's one of the liquid lipsticks, and it's such a bright, intense color. I was so drawn to it that I needed to pick it up. So I got this color. So I'm just gonna apply it to my lips. And it's like a really bold, intense fuchsia shade. This is really pretty. It's like a blue-based pink, and it has shimmer to it. It's not a full-on matte lipstick. And she did explain that her formula doesn't really set in place like 100%, so it's not going to be a budge-proof, smudge-proof formula. And I really like this, but I want to go even like more neon brighter. So I'm going to go over it with this Wild Child lip gloss from Dose of Colors, which look at it, it's so neon, so bright. So let's see how this goes. This is almost like the same color, but it's a little bit more iridescent and shiny. So it's definitely intense. It's definitely like a really good pink lip for the summer. But I really don't think this color is going to go with the orangey warm tones on the eyes and on the cheeks. It's just clashing way too much. You can see it looks a bit off. So I'm gonna go with more of an orangey tone. So we're gonna remove this and come back. So instead, I'm going to go in with this liquid lipstick from Lip Bar. This is the shade Boy Trouble. This is a liquid matte lipstick, and this is a new brand that I discovered at the makeup show, and they will be available at Target. Not all Target stores, but they will be available at Target.com very soon. So again, it's the Lip Bar. So this is a bright, bold orange. So let's see how this goes. Now, even though this color is intense, it's bold, it's really bright, it's what I live for in an orange lip color, the formula is not the best. I had to layer it quite a bit because it was a bit sheer, so I layered and layered and layered, and now it feels like it's about to crack and flake off because of those layers. So not too happy so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and try something to salvage it, or at least make it a little bit more comfortable for me while I finish up this video. I'm gonna grab another Lip Bar product. This one is one of their lip glosses. It's the shade Control Freak. It's a deep orange. This is beautiful. This I highly recommend. It's a beautiful, like, burnt orange gloss, and it looks so good over like orangey tone lip colors. It's deeper. It's gonna deepen this up a little bit, but like I need something to moisten this because it is dry as hell. Let's see if it gets clumpy or if it blends in nicely with the lip gloss. It actually blends in pretty nicely. I don't feel any clumping. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky. It still feels like smooth, and it's definitely a lot more comfortable. I don't actually mind applying a little bit of lip gloss over a liquid lipstick. I know it gets rid of the matte effect, and people are like, well, what's the point of applying a liquid lipstick? A liquid lipstick formula will still last longer than a traditional creamy lipstick on your lips because it's still a matte formula. I still get the crispness of a liquid lipstick, but now I get a little bit of hydration. I don't mind a little extra shine. I don't have to have a fully matte lip at all. Like, I still love the longevity of a liquid lipstick, but I'm okay with it not giving me the look and effect of a full-on liquid matte lipstick. Alright guys, so here you have it. This is the completed look, and I really love how this turned out. I really love this highlighter. I think this is one of my new go-to highlighters. It gives this really rosy look to the cheeks, but it's peachy pink, so it blends in with my skin beautifully. I really love it, and I love the eyeshadows. I love the eyes. I love how they turned out without having to add lashes or anything heavy to the eyelids. And the lips, even though we had a little bit of a struggle session, I still really love how this turned out, and it's still very comfortable. So I think pairing the liquid lipstick with a lip gloss actually worked out for me, and I love this lip gloss. This guy I would highly recommend. The liquid lipstick not so much, but the lip gloss absolutely. You can find other liquid lipsticks that are orange that are much better than this one. Now as for the Shan XO liquid lipstick, this disappointed me. It was very sheer in pigmentation. It left like sheer gaps where my lip color was showing through, my natural lip color, which happens to be a darker brown. So that showing through just throws off the neon color that this is supposed to be, and I didn't like that at all. I am sorry to say, but even though I love the color, the formula is it just leaves a lot to be desired. But this lip gloss, I'm going to pair this with a more opaque liquid lipstick, pink liquid lipstick, and see how that goes. You guys let me know if you would be interested in me doing another version of this look, like a similar look, only with different colors on the eyes that would go well with a neon pink bright fuchsia lip like this. I would have to apply more cool tone shades on the eye. Similar technique and everything, but just different colors to go with a bold pink lip. Let me know if you guys want me to do that. So hopefully you guys also enjoyed this talk through get ready with me video. As usual, I'm going to leave a full list of the products used down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick these up. The majority of the links will be affiliate links. So if it links to Ulta, Sephora, or Nordstrom, those are affiliate links, which means I do get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through those links. It doesn't change the actual retail price of the product. I just end up getting a sales commission just like you would if you shopped in store with a sales associate. If you're not comfortable with that, I'm completely okay. Just go ahead and shop how you normally shop, either online or in store, the regular way. No muss, no fuss. But if you do purchase through my links, definitely thank you for your support, because it does help me to put back into the channel. And I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter pages where you should be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!